Have you ever heard of a town that forgets you exist the moment you leave it? Not abandons you, not erases your name from history, but truly forgets, as if you never lived, never breathed, never passed through its cracked streets. Tonight, I'll tell you the story of Hollow Creek, a place that shouldn't exist, yet somehow still does. It's not on any map, not listed in any archive, and yet, people still find their way there. But none of them ever remember how. The story begins on a cold November night when the fog was thick enough to swallow sound. Ethan Cole, a 29-year-old traveler, was driving across the countryside after taking a wrong turn off Highway 19. His GPS glitched. The signal vanished, and his radio started whispering static that almost sounded like words. He wasn't superstitious, but that road had a strange silence. No wind, no insects, not even the sound of his tires against the gravel. Then, through the fog, a flickering sign appeared. Welcome to Hollow Creek. It looked abandoned. Every window was dark, every store closed. But as he drove deeper in, he saw a diner with lights still on. A neon sign buzzed faintly, spelling out Mel's Place. Ethan pulled over. Inside, the diner smelled of burnt coffee and dust. The jukebox was playing, but no one was around. He called out. Nothing. He sat at the counter, trying to connect his phone. Suddenly, a woman's voice came from the kitchen. "You shouldn't be here this late," she said softly. He turned, startled. The woman was pale, her eyes tired but kind. She served him coffee and asked where he was headed. When he told her he wasn't sure, she just nodded and said, "Most people who come here aren't." Her words made him uneasy. When he looked down at his phone again, the screen showed a single text message he didn't remember writing. "Don't forget yourself." He blinked, confused, but when he looked up again, the woman was gone. Only her cup remained, still steaming. Ethan hurried outside. The fog was thicker now. Across the street, he could swear he saw people standing still, like silhouettes, unmoving, watching. He shouted for help, but the sound died before reaching them. He got back in his car, started the engine, and drove toward the exit sign he thought he saw earlier. But the road looped back to the same diner again. Every turn brought him back. The gas gauge was dropping fast. He started panicking. That's when he saw a small boy on the side of the road. The boy looked lost, holding an old wooden toy. Ethan stopped, rolled down the window, and asked, "Hey kid, are you okay?" The boy looked up and said, "You shouldn't have left the diner." Then he vanished. The car's radio switched on by itself. A voice whispered, "You don't leave Hollow Creek. Hollow Creek leaves you." The engine died. The headlights flickered out. Silence. Ethan stepped out, trying to breathe through the growing terror. The air was cold, heavy. Then, in the distance, he saw the same woman again. Only this time, her face was cracked like broken porcelain, her eyes hollow. She pointed toward the woods. Without thinking, he ran. The trees were whispering. Every step he took, the whispers grew louder. Fragments of his name, his memories, moments of his past spoken by unseen mouths. He stumbled into a clearing where dozens of old photographs hung from the branches, photos of people, faces blurred, eyes crossed out. One of them was him, the same jacket, the same expression, standing in front of the diner. But the date printed on the bottom corner said October 12, 1984. That was 40 years ago. His hands trembled. He tried to tear the photo down, but the whispering stopped. Then a deep voice behind him said, "You don't belong here anymore." He turned, but no one was there. Suddenly, everything around him, the trees, the fog, the ground, began to fade like old film burning in slow motion. And then, black. When Ethan opened his eyes, he was sitting in his car, parked beside a highway sign that read "Leaving Hollow Creek." His phone buzzed. Dozens of missed calls, all from numbers he didn't recognize. The time on the dashboard said 3:07 a.m. He drove straight to the nearest gas station. The clerk looked at him strangely when he asked about Hollow Creek. Hollow Creek, the clerk said. That town burned down in 1984. Nobody's lived there since. Ethan froze. He pulled out his phone to show him the photos from that night, but his gallery was empty. Every picture was gone, every contact erased. Even his reflection in the mirror behind the counter seemed delayed, like it didn't move quite with him. As he stared, his reflection smiled. He didn't. The lights flickered, and the clerk's voice broke through. "Sir, you okay?" But when Ethan turned, The clerk was gone. The gas station was empty. Dust covered the floor. He ran outside, but the world around him looked older, worn down, like decades had passed in seconds. The sign above the station now read closed since 1984. The air smelled like smoke and rain. His car was gone. In the reflection of the window beside him, he could see himself, only he wasn't alone. Behind him, the cracked-faced woman stood, whispering something he couldn't hear. When he turned, she was gone. Only the echo of her voice remained. No one remembers what doesn't belong, and that's when he realized. Maybe Hollow Creek hadn't forgotten him. Maybe it remembered too well, and it didn't want him to leave again. The next morning, a police patrol found an abandoned car on Highway 19. No driver, no ID, no trace. Just one photograph on the dashboard, a faded image of a man sitting at a diner counter, his face half smiling. Underneath it, a handwritten note: "Please remember me if you ever find yourself driving through thick fog and your GPS suddenly stops working. Don't keep going, because once you find Hollow Creek, you'll never really leave. The town will remember you until the world forgets you existed." Subscribe for more stories that should never be remembered.